Mark never said no. Need someone to cover your shift? Mark. Need help moving apartments? Mark. Need someone to stay late after work? Mark. Everyone called him the nicest guy in the office. But something strange kept happening. People depended on him without ever valuing him. They thanked him less, asked him for more, and somehow, the nicer he became, the less he seemed to matter. Here's the question nobody asks. Why did Mark keep saying yes? The answer isn't kindness. It's that his brain learned something that wasn't actually true. Most people believe one simple equation. If I'm kind, people will appreciate me. Seems reasonable, but over time, your brain quietly rewrites it. It starts believing something else. If people need me, I must matter. Those are completely different ideas. Being needed feels rewarding, not because helping is wrong, but because every thank you, every smile, every sign that someone depends on you reassures your brain that you're socially accepted. Without realizing it, you stop helping because you choose to. You start helping because saying no feels uncomfortable. That's where the trap begins. Neuroscientists have found that positive social approval activates many of the same reward-related brain regions that respond to rewards like money. In one well-known brain imaging study led by Kaisi Azuma, receiving approval from other people activated the brain's reward system. Your brain treats social acceptance as something valuable. That isn't the problem. The problem is what happens next. When approval becomes the easiest way to feel valuable, your brain starts protecting that feeling. Not because you're weak, because that's exactly how learning works. Behaviors that feel rewarding become easier to repeat, sometimes without you even noticing. So, how do you know if this loop is already running in your life? Here are 3 signs. Sign 1. You agree before the other person even finishes asking. Not because you already decided, because your brain wants to avoid the discomfort of disappointing them. Sign 2. You apologize for things that were never your responsibility. Not always because you did something wrong. Sometimes because keeping the interaction smooth feels safer than risking tension. Sign 3. You feel guilty whenever you aren't helping someone. That guilt isn't proof you're selfish. It's often just the feeling your brain experiences when it interrupts an old habit. None of this means you're weak. It simply means your self-worth has slowly become connected to being useful. The solution isn't becoming colder, or selfish, or difficult. Kindness was never the problem. Automatic kindness was. Healthy kindness always contains one thing: choice. The next time someone asks you for something, don't answer immediately. Pause. Even 3 seconds is enough. Not because you're trying to manipulate anyone, because you're giving your brain time to make a decision instead of repeating a habit. Sometimes your answer will still be yes. Sometimes it'll be no. Either one is healthy when it's actually your choice. And something interesting happens. When your time is no longer automatically available, people naturally become more aware that it has value. Not because you changed them, because you finally stopped giving yourself away by default. Mark still helps people. He still stays late sometimes. He still says yes. But now, he also says no. Nothing dramatic happened overnight. Not everyone suddenly respected him. Not everyone changed. The biggest change happened somewhere else. For the first time, his decisions belonged to him, instead of to everyone around him. Being kind was never the mistake. Believing that your value depends on being needed was. The moment your kindness becomes a choice instead of a requirement, people aren't the only ones who see you differently. You do too. If this changed the way you understand your own behavior, you're exactly who Social Code is built for. Every week, we uncover the hidden psychology behind confidence, relationships, and human behavior. One code at a time. Subscribe so you don't miss the next one. And now, I want to hear from you. Tell me in the comments, which of the 3 signs described you most accurately?